All right, this video is called Inbox Zero, for real this time. I'm making this video primarily for training purposes for employees and to set some policy in place, but also because I'm pretty passionate about this method of handling emails, and I've read a lot of articles on the net and all over the place, and I think there are a lot of complications added into achieving Inbox Zero, and I don't like complications. So we're going to try to see if we can simplify this. I've also read a lot of articles. I've even read articles where a guy was lauding his 90,000 unread emails as some sort of badge of honor, and another claiming that Inbox Zero is a false god, which I think is pretty funny. I feel this version, or this way of achieving Inbox Zero, is the most straightforward and sane approach. I think my approach is way less complicated than any other, hack your email / Inbox Zero article I have come across. So here we go. First off, I just want to let everybody know that this is scientifically proven that when you do reach Inbox Zero, an angel gets their wings. There were some tests done over in Switzerland in 2005 that confirm this, so it's definitely true. So those who have felt unfulfilled when reaching Inbox Zero should really seriously consider this particular fact. I think it's will maybe help change their mind a bit. Every time thou reaches Inbox Zero, an angel gets their wings. Here's the definition of Inbox Zero as I see it. Inbox Zero is the goal you strive for. It is when there are no emails in your inbox. Pretty self-explanatory. When advancing toward this goal of zero, the email in your inbox should only ever fit these two categories: unread and pending. Unread are simply the emails you have yet to look at and are in bold text. I know you should probably know this already. And pending are the emails you've looked at but have yet to fully address. They are not in bold text. Your goal with Inbox Zero is to remove emails from your inbox after they have been fully handled, and to not leave handled or unneeded email in your inbox. So you would only have pending or unread emails in your inbox at any given time. That's in your pursuit towards Inbox Zero, that's all you would have. So why Inbox Zero? There's just too many different methods of handling emails. There's too many different ways that, people have, 19 different folders, and there's all these various, there's got to be at least 1 million different ways that people handle email. So this particular version, my particular version of Inbox Zero, is to cut down so that we have an actual standard way. This is the standard way. And when somebody operates with Inbox Zero and you email to this person, and if they operate it with the way that I'm teaching here, when you email them, they're going to respond to you. You know that they're going to systematically go through their emails, and your communication is going to be received, and they're going to do what's necessary to fulfill that communication, to handle that communication. And that just makes you feel good. I don't know if have you ever sent emails to someone where you've been, you send it off and you're like, oh man, I hope that I get a response, or you're already defeated. You're sending this off and you just know that you're just not going to get a response. If you operate with Inbox Zero, right, and you operate where you do not archive or delete messages that are unhandled, you're not going to drop any balls. If you have thousands and thousands of unread emails and thousands of read emails and all this just go into town in your inbox, you're going to drop balls. You are. I've seen it time and time again where communications get dropped. And if you operate with inbox zero, you don't drop balls. You're, I guess you'd say, less likely to drop balls. And if you operate with inbox zero, you'll never be one of those guys with the 20,000 unread emails showing up on their app icon, on their phone, or even more, or 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever it is. I mean, it's pointless. It's pointless to have email at that point. Why even have this communication? It's like, 20,000 people communicating with you at one time. You're not going to answer it, so you need to control the communication better. Also, you're not dragging all these unneeded emails into the future. You're handling it in the present moment. You're looking at it in the present moment. You're not looking at emails that are worthless, that are spam, that are just completely, they don't even really matter to your day-to-day life, and yet you're dragging them with you. You have all this clutter just following with you every day. And you get more done. You're way more efficient. It's like boom, boom, boom. You get it, you handle it, you move on to the next thing. I mean, that's how you do things in life. You handle things. You get them to a done, and then you move on. When you're not operating with inbox zero, who knows what you're handling and who knows what you're not handling? It's just, no one can look at your inbox and say, I have no idea what this guy's doing. As an employer, if I look at somebody's inbox, I can tell if they're operating with inbox zero, how much are they, how much do they have on their plate? Because I know that their unread emails are pending emails. Pending meaning they haven't fully addressed whatever it is. They've read it, but they haven't fully addressed it. I can see what's going on because I know they wouldn't leave are fully handled or unneeded emails in their inbox. And it's really just a disservice to yourself. You don't really know, if you're not operating with this mentality, you don't really know just how nice it can be and how much you can get done and how much time you will create by doing this. And bottom line, it's just the best way. It is the best way to handle your emails. It's the best way to do anything. I mean, if you're going to do something, you start it and you handle it and you're done. It's just 1, 2, 3. If you're gonna clean a room, you clean the room, and then when you're done with the room, you leave the room. You're done cleaning it. It's a very simple thing. When you get an email, you handle it, you get it out of your inbox. It's very simple. And the last bullet point I have here is mise en place. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but mise en place is a French culinary phrase which means putting in place. It's used in kitchens and by chefs to describe having all their ingredients measured, prepared, and ready for production. It's further defined as a place for everything and everything in its place. I love mise en place. I've been using mise en place for well over a decade as a sort of philosophy, a background philosophy in most everything I do. I organize my house, I organize my desk, I organize my business, my CRM, everything with mise en place. If something doesn't have a place, then it can't be put into place. So you have to create a place for that thing to go into. And then if there is a place for that thing needs to be put into that place. This picture here, it's, like what you would see on a cooking show. Everything's pre-measured. Everything's, you don't get to the point where you need to saute an onion and then all of a sudden you have an onion unchopped. So then you're stopping what you're doing. You're having to chop the onion and then get that done. And then, now you have to chop, a carrot, and now your garlic's burning or whatever. You have to, you have everything ready. Everything has a place. And when everything has a place and you have your mise en place in, you're ready for production. You get so much more done. If your mise en place is not in, then it takes you forever to cook that soup. It takes you forever. If you just go ahead and just knock out your mise en place, get it done, it takes you no time at all to cook the soup. Your production, if you have your mise en place in place, when you're ready to cook that dinner, or that that nightly rush comes in, you can produce a lot of food because you're ready to roll. So mise en place is very important. And with how it relates to email is there's places for email, very specific places that certain emails go, but not a lot of places, because I don't want to overly complicate the thing. I don't want to have 19 different folders. So how often should you reach actual zero? Well, that just depends. I have email accounts for, because I have different email accounts, but I have email accounts that might not reach actual zero for months at a time. I have other ones that don't get a lot of traffic and they reach zero quite often. I think you should actually reach zero every now and again, but I don't think that it's realistic or even good to stay at zero all the time. And then you're constantly have your email inbox open, and every time you get an email, you're trying to handle it just to get to zero again. No, I think you have an email inbox. I think if you're having hundreds in your email inbox of unhandled things, I think you should really, unhandled emails, I think you should really evaluate how you're handling these emails. And I think that you should probably be unsubscribing from some things or delegating some things. But you should reach actual zero. Maybe it's once a month. Maybe it's once every few months. It really depends on the amount of traffic. But it's still something you strive for. It's still the process of getting to that. And what is fake zero? Fake zero is when you just archive everything. When you just archive whatever comes up and you don't handle it. It's more important to have emails in your inbox that still need something done with them than it is to have this fake zero, this fake clean inbox. It's more important to actually handle the communication. So you shouldn't be trying so desperately to get to zero that you are actually at a fake zero. So it's not a big deal if you have a couple dozen emails, as long as those emails fit into one of two categories: unread or pending. So, but then again, you still want to handle them as fast as possible. You still don't want to stack up too many pendings. You just want to knock them out. So to make it real simple, your account, right? And we mainly use Gmail. That's really all I know is Gmail. Most emails are the same in the basic data that I'm giving here, but we're going to go in a little specific on Gmail. But you have one inbox and two values. How much more simply can it be? You have one inbox. We're going to show you in a minute how to remove all these various inboxes from your Gmail account. You don't need all these inboxes. You need one inbox and two values. The two values are unread and pending. You don't need stars or these importance markers. They're just visual clutter. You just want one tab, because they have these priority tabs, social tabs. You'll see, in the Google Gmail account, these various tabs. You don't need that. That's just more clutter. That's more complication. Make it very, very, very simple. So one tab, one inbox. Different hats, should maybe have different email accounts. If you have a business, or you work, which you probably do, you should definitely have a personal email account, and you should definitely have a business email account. If you're big into, I don't know, some hobby like coin collecting, or collecting postage stamps or whatever, maybe you should really, when you talk to all your different guys in your group for postage stamp collecting or whatever, you should probably have a separate email for that, in which you handle it with inbox zero. The whole inbox zero philosophy, as I'm describing here. So you want to keep it very streamlined. And when you're on your email for your stamp collecting, then you're handling that, but you're keeping it one inbox with only two values. Unread, pending. You don't need to defer it. You don't need to have all these different folders that you stick it into. It's very, very simple. So, the only folders you have, quote unquote, are your inbox and archive. It's just Is it in your inbox? Well, if it's in your inbox, it's either unread or pending. And if it's in archive, well, then you can always just search it later. But you get it out of your you get it out of your clutter, your visual clutter. You don't have to look at it anymore. So we're going to modify Gmail. I'm going to show you a sample Gmail account that I created for the purposes of this video. And we're going to do some very simple modifications to make it very easy for you to achieve this inbox zero and to get your inbox to a more sane operating basis. So here is a Gmail account. I sent myself, 5, emails. And as you can see right now, I'm operating with inbox zero because all I have in my inbox are the 5 unread emails. So as you see at the top here, we have these various tabs, social, promotion, updates. So first and foremost, we want to clear these out of here. And it's very simple. You just go over to settings, go to configure inbox, unclick that, done. Super simple. And then the next thing that we're going to do is just open up an email, right? So we open up an email, blah, blah, right? It's me saying blah, blah. Maybe the response to handle this is blah, blah back. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. So I send that off, right? Now I go back to my inbox. I'm not operating with inbox zero right now. And the reason I'm not operating with inbox zero is because I've handled this. This is done. This needs to be archived. So I'm sure if you have a Gmail account, archive. It's just basically goes into a file that you don't see, and you can always search it up, right? You click on here, and you can archive it from here. You can click on here, you can archive it from here, right? And if you ever want to look it up again, it's very simple. I'm searching blog because I knew that was a keyword that was found in there, and there it is, right? And let's say that I respond back to this blah, blah. It'll go right back into my inbox. The whole chain will go right back into my inbox. So another cool little hack here is the send and archive button. So if we go here, settings, and we have right here, send and archive. And we show the send and archive button, right? Or hide the send and archive button. Right now I have it showed, right? So you want to show it, and that is so I'm going to the reply and it's send and archive, right? Maybe this is the response that handles this communication, right? I can send it, but if that's the response that handles the communication, I'm probably just going to go send and archive and just be done with it. But maybe it's a, question. Maybe I'm questioning, this particular communication, and then I would send it. But in this case, I'm not, so boom. I'm sending it, archived, all done, one button. Okay, so then there are these importance tabs and stars. Talk about complicating it. You just got these extra complications, these extra values. You have the extra tabs, you have the extra folders, you have the extra importance value added icon buttons here. So right now there's a simple fix to remove this importance thing, which I think is going to be good just to remove that clutter from your view. And it's just right here at settings, inbox, show markers or no markers. So you click on no markers, save changes, and boom, that much less. Look how much cleaner that looks already. You don't get the tabs up top. You don't, there's no quick way to take out these stars. I did hear something about possibly some kind of add-on that you could add on that remove that. I don't know much about that. I'll look at that at some point in time later. But right now, this is fairly clean. And then I go over here, and I want to manage labels, right? Obviously, I don't need the starred because I'm never going to use it. I'm never going to use the importance. If you want to have your sent mail folder, which I like actually keeping that up because I want to see if I want to go into, real quick, I don't want it to search in the archive. Maybe I just go to sent mail and see the ones I sent, and I can pull up an email. I don't need all mail. I don't need spam showing. I don't need trash showing, and then I'm done. But look, it's always right here. These various things, they don't get deleted. You're just not having to look at them in your general view here. So let's say that I want to, let's say I'm asking a question. Why? Why are you asking for my favorite color? And let's say I really want to get this question why answered. There's a little add-on you can get called Boomerang, which I think is really cool, where you can boomerang this, meaning pop it back into your inbox at some time that you determined. And there's even a few more modifications you can put on there to clarify exactly when you want it boomeranged, or what if these particular values come into place, it'll boomerang, right? If no reply. Let's say that I boomerang this, and then when I hit send in archive, or I hit send, it's going to boomerang this in 2 days if no reply. So that's a cool little function you can get for an add-on. But let's say you just have tremendous amounts of emails come in, right? Obviously, you can go to the bottom of most subscription emails and click unsubscribe. But let's say you don't want to unsubscribe because maybe the person's a friend of yours. You just don't want to see their email, but you don't want to tell them. It's sort of like, Facebook, I don't want to follow them, but I don't want to unfriend them or whatever. Plus, when you don't want to hit spam, because then it'll hit, their particular email marketing service will ding them because they're getting a spam complaint. So what you can do, it's real simple. You simply come over to settings, this gear, come to settings, filters and blocked addresses, right? Like I created this one for myself here. To, you can block it, right? And then whenever it comes in, you just go where you set it up, like create new filter. We'll set up a new one. So you have different ways to categorize the emails to make sure you don't ever have them coming in your inbox. Most of the time, you're just going to unsubscribe. But let's say, this guy's a friend of mine. I don't want to make him mad because he's sending me out these emails for his, multi-level marketing company for, foot massagers or whatever. And I wish him the best of luck, but I just don't want his emails coming to my inbox anymore. Okay, good. So it's from him. And you can even add that has the subject, it's this subject, or the email has the words or doesn't have the words, right? So you create filter, and then you get to choose to skip the inbox and archive it. Maybe you want to search it later, or maybe just go straight to deleting it, right? So you have these various ways to never have to see these emails again. There's also something called unroll.me. That is a general thing that will go through all your emails, find all your subscriptions, and basically block those emails from coming in. You can real quickly unsubscribe from them. I don't think with that service though you're really unsubscribing. I think you're just kind of blocking, and if you ever quit using that service, then you might get all those emails back. So it's probably just better to go through your emails, set it up yourself, unsubscribe, set up filters, all that sort of thing. So, but let's say, I get a message here from Bill Lumberg, I don't really want to respond to him right now because maybe I can't, maybe I don't want to talk about this memos, or maybe I don't want to quite answer him yet. Maybe I want to answer him to, I'm quitting, here in a few days or something. If you guys are familiar with Office Space, you'll understand this conversation right here about the TPS reports. But anyway, let's say I don't want to handle it. Well, right now it's still pending. I'm still operating with inbox 0. All I have is, an email I haven't read, and one that I haven't handled yet. Now, obviously, you want to handle these emails as fast as possible, but as long as it's pending, then you're operating sanely. You're operating within the confines of inbox zero mentality. All right, so we've modified our Gmail. It looks a lot cleaner, and so we're going to continue on here. So, check spam and drafts. Check your spam and draft folders. You never know when you don't have to clear those out. Well, you should probably clear out your draft folders, but it's always good to just see what's in them. Give them a quick glance, see what's up. Make sure you're not dropping any balls. Sometimes you do get things that go to your spam folders. Talked about the add-ons. The add-ons are, like Boomerang. There's another cool add-on, I think. It's called Sidekick. These add-ons that you get are usually free for a few uses a month. And then if you need them over a certain amount of usage a month, like maybe you Boomerang 20 emails a month, you're probably going to start paying a little bit of money. But I think for Boomerang, it's like 10 emails and it's free. And Sidekick is like 200 notifications. And Sidekick is a add-on that will show you if someone has opened your email. It'll give you a little notification saying, okay, I sent it to this person, but did they actually open it? Which is really cool. And another little cool thing about Gmail is you got your themes. You can set up themes. Like maybe you want to set up a chest theme, which I think is cool. Not really having anything to do with inbox zero, just a cool little thing that I thought I would show you. So also I want to talk about, just in the same vein of inbox zero, I want to talk about texting. So texting for business. Texting is not the preferred method of communication for internal business communications. Email is, preferred. Texting is usually preferred by the non-inbox zero folks, and even if you're an inbox zero guy, if you're sending emails to a non-inbox zero guy and they're really poor at responding to emails, then texting tends to get used because it's a more of a now communication. It's almost like you walking up to the person and asking them a question. Well, they can't put you off for a few hours like that you could with email and handle it as they handle their emails in their day-to-day. They have to actually start talking to you. Right? So, texting is like you walking up to somebody and needing an answer immediately. And if they don't answer the text, or if you don't answer the text when you get it, you're liable to forget it, because texts have so many inboxes. An email has one inbox, especially if you're operating with this procedure. So text should only be done as a priority or an emergency, quote unquote, now communication. If you're texting somebody and you need an answer now, it's priority. You just had a situation happen. You need some communication now. Well, email's definitely not the method of communicating that type of priority, right? It puts someone on the spot to answer, and maybe they need to be on the spot to answer because maybe it's an emergency, and that's fine. But don't constantly be putting people that are trying to organize their day, they're trying to get certain amount or tasks done or work done, and yet you're demanding that they communicate back right now. That's what's going to happen, because if they don't communicate back right now, then they're liable. They look at the text, but then they don't handle it, right? It's still pending text, but then they don't handle it. They're not likely to go through the 45 different text inboxes to find all their pending communications that they need to handle. And also, when you're sending a text, even if it is an emergency, it's best if it's phrased so that the recipient can give you a yes or no answer. It would be nice, if you could say, do you like cats? Yes or no? Okay, good, cool. I just had to know if you like cats or whatever. Whatever the question is, it'd be nice if you could phrase it in a yes or no answer, because then it completes it. It's a complete of the communication, just like that. So, and then I always said there's too many inboxes to make it efficient. Oh, and it reminds me of something I didn't go over on the last slide here was Get a task manager. Your email is not your task manager. Get a separate task manager that has tasks set up. And that way, if you have an email that you know, if you don't handle, is going to sit in your inbox for 2 months, then set a task for 2 months from now. Hopefully it has some kind of calendar integrated with this task manager. But just set a task for 2 months from now, and then archive that email. And then when you get to that task 2 months from now, you can search that email right back up from your archive and then handle it. But it doesn't have to stay in your inbox for 2 months. You have a task manager for that. So that's inbox zero. This is 30 minutes of describing to you how to handle your email. So hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you see how simple it is, how uncomplicated it is, how there's not a lot of moving parts. So good luck.